It's the Thursday night Dawn White, where I think we've done about 70 of these now. I'm gonna do them until I've decided to do them to the end of March, just so you know, I think. And then I'm performing in front of real audiences now. I have two shows this weekend, the birthday shows. My 65th birthday is Sunday. So I think a lot of people lost the pool on me when I lived to be 21. So if you played the over on that, I think you'd be doing good. I think that's how that works. So let me play a few songs. If you're new here, so this starts in Zoom and it streams out to Facebook and YouTube. You're you're welcome to unmute, especially if I'm telling a story or something. As long as you're in a quiet place, I kind of like the interaction. And Brandon, our technician, kind of monitors it in case it gets noisy. But as I've said many times, it's hard for me to just talk to a screen and stay motivated to keep talking. So let me play a couple songs here just to get started. But thank you for showing up and for supporting music. It's a hard, dark, cold. Oh, wait a second. I have to change the setting here. Okay. It's a hard, dark, cold world with everybody in their cars in a million-mile traffic jam trying to get to their jobs. You there with your bright light, hiding in your little room with your guitar and your pencil, writing your secret tune. Go light, go light, go light the world on fire. This is your day, it's your time. Go light the world on fire. In the first part, if you learn what you love to do. In the middle part, if you do it a lot, till it becomes a part of you. In the last part, you can give the world the best work of your life. And then you lay down with a big smile, tell this whole world good night. Go light, go light, go light the world on fire. This is your day, it's your time. Go light the world on fire. It's a hard, dark, cold world with everybody in their cars in a million-mile traffic jam trying to get to their jobs. We need you to come on down from your little room. Bring your bright light to the dark night. Play it's your secret tune. Go light, go light, go light the world on fire. This is your day, it's your time. Go light the world on fire. Go light, go light, go light the world on fire. This is your day, it's your time. Go light the world on fire. Go light the world on fire. Go on and light the world on fire. And we're off. We're off and running.
Woo!
The crowd is going wild. Hi, Bruce. Nice to see you. Look at you. Nice to see you. You fill up a square well, my friend. Here, unmute yourself so I can talk to you. Bruce, unmute yourself so I can say hi. So you can say hi back. You can do it.
Hi, back.
Hey, how's everything?
Happy birthday or approximate birthday.
Yeah, thank you. It's my birthday year. I mean, my birthday month. I mean, my birthday week. Yeah, I'll be
Milk it for all it's worth, Don.
That's right. Good, that's a good point. I'm doing two shows this weekend. One of which was rescheduled since let's see, it was rescheduled from January when COVID was at a peak. And so that's at Club Passim. It's a matinee, 1:00. For my, I always knew that my audience would push me toward matinees, and now I'm doing it home in your pajamas by 6:00, and then at the Bull Run on Saturday night. So have some friends stopping by later and for the after party. So I'm just gonna play some songs here and just get used to being 65. I know a wife and a husband. They had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16, you won't believe what he did. He smoked a lot of marijuana. He snorted cocaine too. Told his parents he was gonna drop out of school. The father pounded on the table. The mother hollered and she screamed. They run him down to the doctor. Doctor, what does this mean? He put them all on Prozac, right then and right there. He said, you'll still have your problems, but now you just won't care. And he prescribed a little therapy, some supplementary drugs, but he didn't write a script down for a little more love, just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better, see a little more love. I know a wife and a husband, and they had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16, you won't believe what she did. She said, Mom, I am sleeping over Susan's. That was just a big lie. But what she really was doing was staying out all night. And when her parents found out, they cried boo-hoo-hoo. Then they called the radio talk show. They asked him, what should we do? He said, send her off to boot camp. That was his advice. It was good for his ratings, but it wasn't very nice. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better, see a little more love. I can see that you're a tough guy. You won't be pushed around. You're not going to take it. You're good at putting your foot down. You might get killed by lightning. You might get hit by a truck. But if you are not that lucky, you might just wind up spending years in a rest home without a whole lot to do. But look back on what you did with the time God gave you. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better. Big, rough, tough guy to see a little more love. It might look a little better, see a little more love. There we go.
Woo.
Hey!
Well done.
Oh, Neil. Hello, everybody. Hi, Tony, Neil, everybody. Hi, Jody.
Good to
Nice
see
to
ya.
see you. All right, so thank you. And welcome. So if you want to hear anything, just put it in the chat, and Brandon will let me know about it. I'll try to play it for you. I'm going to keep it pretty loose today and just do whatever I want. So this weekend I'm playing some shows. I have a couple of special guests. Everett Pendleton has been here a little bit. He's gonna perform with me at both shows, at the Bull Run on Saturday and Passim on Sunday. And Christina Thompson is gonna come to the show on Sunday at Passim. And Everett and I are gonna play this song together, which is kind of a band song, but I've been playing it acoustically. So here we go. My dad said, son, if you keep going on this way, bad report card, you're gonna wind up as a lumper on a cruise someday. I said, Dad, what's a lumper? I was laughing so hard, rolling on the floor. Dad, no one uses words like a lumper anymore. The guys are outside. It's Friday night. I gotta go. See you later, and thanks for the lecture. If you keep doing the thing that you are doing, if these things that you are doing don't do you in, they can always use another lumper on the second chance crew. Me, Billy Bob, Rick and Ray, those were my drinking buddies. We were living for the party every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Don't forget Sunday. One by one they moved away from home. You know, the time went by. The next thing I know, I'm 31. I'm drinking with a bunch of 19-year-olds. What a loser, man, what a loser. If you keep doing the things that you are doing, if these things that you are doing don't do you in, they can always use another lumper on the second chance crew. Second chance people got a touch of gray, party their teens and their 20s away, but now they're sober, starting over, and they're 32. They're just so glad to be working on the second chance crew. Ah, those pallets aren't gonna move themselves, lumper. I wound up in the program, I know that's no surprise. I make the minimum wage, but at least I didn't die. You know, my knees are aching and my back is sore. I've been dragging these ladders across a plywood floor. And Dad, I never wonder what a lumper is anymore, because I am a lumper. If you keep doing the thing that you are doing, if these things that you are doing don't do you in, they can always use another lumper down on the second chance crew. He said, if you keep doing the things that you are doing, if these things that you are doing don't do you in, they can always use another lumper on the second chance crew. Smoke it, drink it, and puff it up your nose, while your education goes up in smoke. And when you're in your 30s and the party is through, we're saving you a seat at the meeting and a job lumping on the crew. Seat at the meeting, a 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 seat at the meeting. Hi, I'm Don, I'm an alcoholic. Seat at the meeting. Hi, Don. Hi. Seat at the meeting, a job lumping on the crew. That's what's waiting for you. A seat at the meeting and a job lumping on the crew. There you go. Look at that.
Woo. Oh, done.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Welcome. All my little holograms are going wild. All right. So that's the song called The Lumper Song that I wrote many years ago because my dad kept looking at my report card and saying to me, "You're gonna be a lumper, and you're gonna amount to nothing. You're just partying all the time." And of course, he was right. Wound up being a folk singer. So I fulfilled his prophecy. So when I read, that made me think of a little section from my book. I have a new book. It's called The Hitchhiking Years and Four Other Stories. That's a picture of my wife and I hitchhiking in Texas in 1975. We hitchhiked for 3 years, left Lynn, Massachusetts when I was 17 years old, and spent all of 75 hitchhiking to Alaska and everywhere we could go, and then all of 77 and all of 79. After the first year, I wound up back in Lynn, and I had been eating wild mushrooms and plants, and thinking deep thoughts, and next thing I knew, I was back home, 1976 in Lynn, Massachusetts. So this is just a little section called Welcome Home. Welcome home, Don White. After the end of our first year of travel, I attended a house party in Lynn, Massachusetts. Teresa and I were taking a well-earned break from each other's company, so I went alone. So, those of you that are with me here on Zoom, when I read, I like you to unmute just so that I can feel you. If I say something funny and I'm the only person that laughs, it makes me feel like my medication isn't working or something like that. So there we go, right there. So we can have it be just a little bit interactive. A week after the end of our first year of travel, I attended a house party in Lynn. Teresa and I were taking a well-earned break from each other's company, so I went alone. I was excited to reunite with my old schoolmates and my friends, and anxious to tell them about my adventures. The guy who was throwing the party was a member of my high school graduating class. As I approached the house, he was leaning over a 4-foot picket fence and puking into his mother's flower garden.
Oh, God.
There you go.
Hey, John, how you doing? Huh? Oh, hi, John. I'll be all right in a minute. There's a keg in the bathtub. Have at it. Oh.
Oh, God.
I should have wrote that in there, that little sound effect. As he recommenced the spraying of his special blend of homemade plant food over his mother's daffodils, I entered the party and the world that I had left behind. And there they were, the people who had grown up like me. They were doing what came natural, drinking, smoking weed, and talking about hockey. The J. Giles Band Bloodshot album was blaring track number 1. It ain't nothing but a house party. It ain't nothing but a party, nothing but a party. From the turntable inside John's mom's stereo console. When the needle had reached the end of side 1 and the subtle musical stylings of our favorite local crooners had ended, I heard a sound that I hadn't been in the presence of for over a year, but one I recognized instantly. It was the sound of knuckles striking a cheekbone. 2 of the king's most loyal and chivalrous warriors were engaged in a valiant duel for the affections of a fair maiden whose virtue had apparently been maligned. Furniture was upended. Precious hops and barley were spilled. The face of the young woman that may have launched 1,000 ships got collaterally damaged after she inserted it in an ill-advised peacekeeping effort between the combatants. This, I felt, ensured that, despite their willingness to die defending her honor, neither of these noblemen would win the lady's hand and acquire the highly revered title of her betrothed. I leaned against the wall and watched the familiar scene unfold. The rest of the guests moved instinctively away from the action and continued their discussions about the Boston Bruins as if nothing was going on. With a grin on my face that acknowledged how out of place I was, I imagined the looks of bewilderment my road stories about dinners of fresh-picked wild lamb's quarters in Alaska would manifest if I were fool enough to tell them here. Then, as I finished my beer, I whispered to an imaginary non-vomiting host, "Thanks, but I'll let myself out." Welcome home. The last tagline on that part is, "Welcome home, little wanderer." Ta-da!
Hey.
All right, so the book has been around for a few months now. It's called The Hitchhiking Years. You can pick it up at donwhite.net. That information is in the guide. There, Steve's holding up his copy there. Thanks, Steve, for that. So I see that Judy Cass is here. Hi, Judy. Nice to see you. Robin Benjamin, everybody. So if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're on Facebook, or no matter where you are, you can share it on Facebook if you go to my page or any place like that. And that's the way that most people see it. So here, let me play a couple more.
When are we going to get to the Medicare part? I'm really interested. You might have been pulling my leg, but I hit 65 in September, so you're my guide for this, Don.
Well, I figured that if nobody, if it wasn't a well-attended event today, we could just do a Q&A on Medicare because now I'm an expert. I'm an expert on many things, by virtue of having been hurled into them. Like I had prostate cancer, so I'm an expert on that. Like I can tell you all about your Gleason score and all that if you want to know. And now I know all about Part A and Part B and Part D and Medicare Advantage. I have a Medicare Advantage plan. Yes, I do, ladies and gentlemen.
Woohoo!
My wife and I are both taking Social Security. Like I feel like there's no pretending that I'm not old no more. Like you can't. There's no pretending.
See, Tony, you told me this was going to be a Part E, but instead we're talking about Part A.
Oh, good one. I like that.
Good one.
All right, so I don't live in Lynn anymore. I moved to near New Hampshire, but I can't get the Lynn out of me. Like these people in this town are friendly and nice, and I keep wondering what they want. What are they up to? Like, what's your scam? How come you're being nice to me? What's going on here? So here we go. I was born in the city of Lynn, home of the first turbine engine, and as if that wasn't enough, it's also the home of marshmallow fluff. You can travel the whole country, you'll never find a bigger fluff factory. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn act this way. I don't talk slick like I'm from the Hant. I'm the son of a 30-year GE man. Don't be staring at me that way. I am from Lynn, what can I say? I used to hang around at Barry Park. That's illegal after it gets dark. Stand on the bleachers where things got smoked and beer was chug-a-lug. Bottles broke. Later in the evening when the police come, 27 juveniles are on the run. Juveniles are running everywhere you see, jumping over fences, climbing in trees. Don White is too loaded to get away. His name is in the paper on the next day. His mother and his father just can't believe he would publicly humiliate the family. I said, Ma, I'm from Lynn, what can I say? People from Lynn act this way. I don't talk slick, that's what I said. I'm not from Swampskin or Marblehead. Don't be staring at me that way. I am from Lynn, what can I say? I left Lynn 10 years ago. I didn't know where I was gonna go. 10 of my friends were leaning up against a bar and grill. It's 10 years later, they're leaning there still. Half of my friends who are not on the street are dead in jail or annoying me, and I'm from Lynn. What can I say? People from Lynn act this way. I don't talk slick, that's what I said. They won't even let me into Marblehead. They're afraid I'll steal something that I have in the past and I could possibly in the future. Don't be staring at me that way. I'm from Lynn, what can I say? There it is.
Oh, Don. Oh.
All right, so
I don't know if you noticed that, Don, but while you were singing that song, Steve reached over. He's in Marblehead. He locked his door.
I love Marblehead, actually. I wish I lived there. I look for a house there, but you gotta be kidding me. You need to bring up like a yacht full of money to buy a house in Marblehead at this place in time right now. But it's really a great town, actually. So I played this last week for the first time in 20 years, probably. It's a song I wrote before my son was born, so it would have been 1979. I was thinking about the government, trying to make a soldier out of him and telling him what a hero is. I'm gonna try to remember how to play it here. So this is just really thoughts that I had as a young man that I still feel now about it's like, I don't need to explain to anybody how stupid war is. Like, how stupid is a game that you play or a thing that you do where why you claim victory because there's fewer people dead on your side than the other side. Like, what? Like, it's the stupidest thing in the world. So, that doesn't mean if you have to do it, you don't do it, I guess. But man, just philosophically, I don't get it. I have my grandchildren now. My grandsons are 13, 14. They're getting older. Storm clouds are gathering over yonder. The way that they are heading is clear. A fool's wind is blowing from the capital, and I can feel it getting drafty here. They will tell you they can turn you from a child into a man, but kindness and love can do it better than anything else can. And if you really want to be a hero, if you need a cause worth fighting for, try to tell the people that the truth is no one ever wins a war. Everybody loses, everybody loses. That's the way it's always been. One side will lose more, the other side will lose less. Everyone will lose a friend. No one ever really wins. So keep your eyes on the horizon and the clouds rolling in. Remember, real heroes never put their sails up in an arrogant and foolish wind. And if you really want to be a hero, if you need a cause worth fighting for, try to tell the people that the truth is no one ever wins a war. Everybody loses, everybody loses. That's the way it's always been. One side will lose more, the other side will lose less. Everyone will lose a friend, but no one ever really wins. There you go.
Love that song, Don. Love it.
Thanks, Don. Beautiful.
Thank you. I did my best songwriting 35 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a downhill slide ever since then. Hi, Judy. I'm so happy to see you.
I'm so happy to see you, too, Don, and to celebrate your birthday with you. You sound great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Judy Cass is here, fantastic songwriter. So, I didn't I resisted the temptation to call in all my I know a fair amount of famous friends, you know what I mean? But I just didn't feel comfortable saying, hey, come to my party. But I let the word out, and I thought we do an after party at 8:30. And anybody that's here, I don't care if you have something you want to say or read a poem or sing a song or whatever, I think we'll do it that way. Just give everybody, a chance to say what's on their mind or to speak, to say how they feel about these times, to talk about something joyful, whatever. I think I'd like to have it be more, just sort of open to everybody. So if you're around after 8:30, we'll do that. So here's a song. When Tony and I ran this thing called Speak Up, we ran it for 8 years. It's still running now, and I designed it. I designed it specifically. It was a spoken word open mic in Lynn, Massachusetts, and Tony was the host, and I was the the overseer, I guess I'd be called.
Papa Bear.
Papa Bear. I would stand in the corner and make sure that we didn't have to, throw anybody out bodily or whatever, but I had specific ideas for it. I really wanted it to be for people who didn't have a voice, and so we were reaching out to people that wouldn't go, especially young people at the time. There was a lot of young people who came to it. Young people who, and Lynn is just full of kids whose parents are alcoholics, and they're 3 or 4 generations descended from alcoholics and drug abusers and all that, and they're feral, and some of them are homeless, and they're tough, and they're wily, and they won't go into a church or a school or social work. They're not going to talk to those people. But I knew if I could get them into our place, that they would open up with me, because one of the things that we proclaimed from the beginning was that there was no language restrictions. So if you ever decide to do this, anybody, if you're trying to get, or if you know somebody that's reaching out to the unreachables, like the kids that are way out on the edge there, that's one of the things you can do, is teach the adults, the other people that are around them, to shut up and just let them talk. And that's really hard, because people would say, hey, that's sexist, or that's politically incorrect, or that's this and that, and I had to just lecture everybody. Like, I will throw you all out of here. When you get up, you can say what you want. You have the right to. You cannot applaud, but you can't interject anything. They have to say what they want. And what would happen, Tony backed me up on this, is they'll come and watch, see that they could say whatever they want, and then eventually get up and horrify everybody. like say the most horrible shit you could imagine, right? Just to see what would happen. And I had everyone trained at that point to go, thank you, that was beautiful, lovely, wonderful. And they would be so off balance. They were like trying to get you to and then, because like a trap, right? Then they would say, you see, you're just like everybody else, right? But I had, at that point, taught everybody. What I would say to my friends is, the same way I felt when my dad said, my country right or wrong, or, all that stuff, that's how they feel when you tell them something. My dad felt just as right about what he was saying as I feel about, hey, that's a little sexist, or that's a little, whatever, right? It doesn't matter how I feel, what I think is right. Let them go. And then the metamorphosis was unbelievable. The next time they come, they have a piece of paper in their hand, and their hands are shaking, and they're talking about being abused by people and the suffering that they had. And Tony and I would just watch every week while voices were being born. Like, people who didn't have a voice, all of a sudden were learning to have a voice. And as an adult, if we can teach the other adults to shut up, we can create spaces like this and unleash voices in the world. And the one thing, I'm pontificating now, right? I'm sorry, but the one thing that people in power don't want, like Vladimir Putin doesn't want the population that knows how to express itself. You know what I mean? So it's actually a pretty radical thing to create a space where people can have a voice. And so, along those lines, there were kids in those days when we first started who'd be walking around with like Janis Joplin albums under their arms and stuff, and it bothered me. It bothered me that they felt like they had missed something, and that their time was no good, that the good stuff was behind them. And I would lecture my audience on that too. Like, don't do that to them. Don't tell them they missed anything. Their time is just as good. So this is called Woodstock Memories. Jenny's grandma went to Woodstock back in 1969. She keeps her ticket stub and a chunk of mud at her house in the little shrine. She was always the girl in the hippie dress twirling at the shows by the Grateful Dead. If you ask her about it, man, you better sit down. Grandma will talk the ears right off your head. If you get her talking about the Grateful Dead, the Summer of Love or the Kool-Aid acid test. Jenny was always in her glory when she could hear the stories from her grandma's hippie friends about peace and love, taking care of one another, how great it all was back then. And at night she would dream of being on the bus with Keezy seeing Jimmy in 69. But when she wasn't dreaming, she always had the feeling that somehow she'd been born in the wrong time. You know, you should have been 20 in 1969. All the gray-haired hippies say that all the time. But the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Montezuma, Costa Rica, having all kinds of fun singing. There's only 1 minute if you're not living in it, it's never coming back again. Love your grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, be there then. It's gonna take a big leap of faith if you really want to find your tribe. Those were the first words that Jenny heard in the song that she found online. And that summer she drove all the way to Minnesota to the Shangri-La Festival. And there they all were, all the people like her, who grew up believing that they were all alone. They said, hey girl, welcome home. Because the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are driving down the road all the way to Minnesota, having all kinds of fun singing. Jimmy and Jerry are dead and buried and they're never coming back again. Love your grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, be there then. Jenny's grandma went to Woodstock in 1969. Since then she believed there was never gonna be a better time, and that's alright. But if you don't take your big leap of faith and get out there and find your scene, it will pass you by as you are trying to find your grandma's long gone Woodstock memories. Her Woodstock memories. While the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Montezuma, Costa Rica, having all kinds of fun singing. There's only 1 minute if you're not living in it, it's never coming back again. Love your grandma, but Baba Ram Dass never said, be there then.
Good.
And the crowd is going wild. You should see what I'm seeing. All the holograms are taking their clothes off and stuff. It's unnerving. A little bit unnerving.
That's a different birthday party. Wait.
I know. Sounds like a normal birthday party, doesn't it? I don't know.
If I start taking my clothes off, you're going to see all these people clicking off right away.
They didn't say birthday suits, Tony.
Oh, okay.
You know what? When I first started out, people used to say to me, as a performer, you should try to imagine the audience in their underwear. And I just thought to myself, have you seen my audience? I'm trying to calm down, not horrify myself. No offense to anybody, but like, my audience is my own age. That's not going to make me comfortable. I'm not going to get relaxed about that. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what to do. Anybody want to hear anything or...
That puppy wants you a rascal.
All right. Rascal is a dog, he ain't too bright. Me and Rascal was sitting on the couch last night when my woman come in and she started to cry. She looked at us with such terror in her eyes. She said, I have raised these children for 18 years and now they're growing up and moving out of here. And my big reward for all that I've been through is this dog as dumb as mud. And you, yippee-yahoo. Rascal looked at me in disbelief. He said, she can't be talking about you and me. She's got us to spend the rest of her whole life with. Will you please tell her how incredibly lucky she is? And I said, who is gonna love you any better than this? Will wake you up every morning with big wet kisses when we hear the police sirens in your neighborhood. We throw our heads up in the air and we howl for you. Ow! And that's cool. You gotta admit that's pretty cool. You know, I don't believe we had succeeded in convincing her of the outrageous good fortune that had befallen her. In fact, instead of looking happy as she could be, she looked a little bit, well, you know, suicidal to me. But hey, kids go to college, kids move away, but dogs and husbands, that's who stays. To you it seems like a terrible trick of fate, but me and Rascal don't see it that way. We're thinking, ain't we cuddly, ain't we cute? We're both real funny, we're both real true. There's another thing about us that's very cool. If you scratch us on our belly, our left leg moves. And you gotta admit that's cool. Ow! Ow! Well, okay, so maybe we ain't that smart. We're a couple of mutts with a lot of heart. But no one could ever love you better or give you more loyalty than this dog, as dumb as mud, and this dog as dumb as mud, than this dog as dumb as mud. And me, how lucky can one girl be? She's got a dog like you and a man like me. We'll be together well into this next century. Put that knife down, baby. Well, we've been doing Zoom shows for, I don't know, 2 years now. One thing we know is that you can't sing together on them, but we have learned that you can howl together. So I want everyone to unmute yourselves, and we're going to all, on the count of 3, just howl into our computer screens like a bunch of people having a mental nervous breakdown. Alright? And it'll be good for you. It's like primal screaming, primal howling. Oh, Steve's got his dog there. He's going to help out. Alright, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. One more time.
Oh, done.
Alright. Yeah.
Even the beagle helped.
Nice job on that.
Yeah. That was great.
Alright. Let me tell you a story. I understand exhaustion. Exhaustion and I have a deeply intimate understanding of exhaustion. So, Brandon, keep an eye on my crowd for me, but everybody, if you're in a quiet place, just go ahead and unmute. And remember, any sound that you make is loud, so you know what I mean. We'll monitor it like that, like crunching of potato chips or like a squeaky chair or fire engine. But let's have a few people unmuted so that I can feel connected. You know, that's really the point of this. So I understand exhaustion. Exhaustion and I have a long-standing and deeply intimate knowledge of one another. He knows how to slip into my life and make me miserable, and I know that he enjoys doing it. When my daughter was 15 years old, her bedroom was right next to the bedroom where my wife and I and exhaustion sleep. And there was never a real door on her bedroom. We always had just this flimsy folding door that, she'd give her some privacy, but it didn't keep out sound. you know. And so the sound would travel back and forth between the two bedrooms. So one day I came home after working 11-hour day. Or maybe more than that. It might have been like a 12 or a 13-hour day. I worked from early in the morning till nighttime, and at the time I was installing security systems. I had spent the whole day in the attic. I was covered in insulation and dust, and I mean I was like really tired and burned out, and I was dragging myself up the stairs. I took a shower, and I climbed in bed, and it was 11 o'clock. And my daughter was 15 at the time, and she was on the telephone with her best friend, and she was laughing. I mean, I've been around a fair amount of laughter in my life. I mean, I'm pretty familiar with it. I study it. Student of comedy and all that, and I understand the different sounds of laughter. But I have to tell you, the sound of the laughter of a 15-year-old girl on the phone with her best friend is not a sound that you can find anywhere else on earth. It is just shrieks and wails and like these not really quite human sounds, right? And so I'm laying in bed and I'm so tired. I'm so tired I could cry. Like I just need sleep. I could hear the 5 a.m. setting on the alarm clock actually taunting me. I'm gonna ring as soon as you close your eyes, big guy. So I'm just laying there and I just need sleep. I need, like, how much is that? Like a modicum, a molecule of a minute amount. I just need that much sleep, and I'm being denied this cure for my exhaustion by the shrieks and wails of hysterical teenage laughter devilishly dancing out of my daughter's bedroom. And I decide I have to address the situation. And I start the process of deciding how best to do so, And the first, so I decide to conjure up in my mind my available dad identities. I had a couple of them. And the first one is the blusterer, the tough guy, And I think, well, if I give this guy the job, what will happen? I'm trying to get the job done and get to bed quick. I don't want this to be a stretched out ordeal, right? So I think if I give this job to dad number one, who's the guy who likes to yell, what will happen? And I pictured in my mind, I would walk over to the doorway, of her flimsy door and say, I am trying to get some sleep here. You don't care that I have to get up at 5 in the morning. Why should you? You have to get to sleep till noon. It would never even occur to you that other people might be living in this house. Then I would raise my dictatorial muscle and say, hang up that phone right now. And then, boys and girls, there would be quiet. Quiet anger. Quiet resentment. And quiet plotting of revenge. You see, dad number one always gets much more quiet than he bargained for. That's because he's 100% bluster and 0% circumspection. His method is to win the battle at the expense of the war. He's just a pawn of exhaustion and destined to spend his waking hours in an endless cycle of explosive bravado, followed by the need to apologize for it. So I decide maybe he's not the guy for the job, so I conjure up dad number two. Dad number two is still a pawn of exhaustion, but he lacks the will to fight. Instead, he's a pleader. His method is to crawl out of bed looking as pitiful as possible and to speak in a defeated monotone. So if I give him the job, I imagine that it will go like this. Be like, Ariel, that's my daughter's name. Ariel, please, I need to get up at 5 in the morning. If you love me even this much, please, I beg of you, go downstairs and use the phone down there. Now, although sad and, I'm sorry to say, emasculated, this dad, if he gets the job done, if I give him the job, he'll get it done in a way that I won't have to apologize for later. So I think maybe he's the guy for the job. So I conjure up my defeated monotone. I roll it around in my mouth. I'm preparing to get out of bed and go downstairs, or go across the hall and address the situation. When a hitherto unknown door in my mind opens up, and out walks dad number three. He speaks. He says dad number one is a jerk, and dad number two is just tragic. He said, the problem here is not with the sounds in this house, it's with the way that you are choosing to hear them. And I think to myself, great, dad number 3 is a philosopher. I say, is this going to take long? I really need to get some sleep here. And he tells me to shut up, and he keeps talking. He says, let's take a look at what we actually have here. You are about to take to take action that will curtail the sounds of laughter in your house. Is this what you want? That's what you want? A house with no laughter in it? Don't you know that the sounds that happen in the house are part and parcel of the memories that are created there, and that quiet is what happens in the house when you are alone in it. Be careful how much of this you wish for, Don White. I'm on a first name basis with my imaginary dads there. Then he says it to me again. He says, the problem here is not with the sounds in this house, it's with the way that you are choosing to hear them. And then I'm telling you, I get it. You know how sometimes somebody says something to you, or you hear something, and this gigantic white light of complete understanding just washes over you, and something you never understood before is like clear as a bell? Like, that's the way it was. Like, and I think to myself, I ask myself this question: what kind of a father can't go to sleep to the sound of his daughter laughing? And then instantly, as if the asking of the question initiated the metamorphosis, all the sounds coming from my daughter's room are transformed. They're changed. It's no longer sounds of, it's no longer something that I don't like. It becomes music. It becomes summer rain. I lie back and let them wash over me. All the pores in my body open up and absorb the miracle of my daughter's teenage laughter. It is magic. It is giddy. It is a sound so complete that it's as if each one of her molecules is laughing. It's all one glorious symphony, light and lovely. There is no difference between my daughter, no distinction between my daughter, the teenager, and laughter itself. It's just, like I said, one glorious symphony, light and lovely. And she sings me to sleep with laughter. And I dream. Oh man, I dream the dreams of a rested man. And in the morning, when I wake up, I'm not just renewed, I'm reborn. I'm a new person. Exhaustion is gone and will not return until the day has wrestled from me my zest. And I lie in bed and I look at the ceiling and I think about the home that I was raised in. And I wonder if I had the inclination or the wherewithal to count them, if my memories of people laughing would outnumber my memories of people yelling. Think about that for a minute. Put on my work boots and my clothes that still have insulation all over them. I walk over to my daughter's bedroom door. I stand in the doorway. I gaze upon her sleeping figure, light, beautiful and at peace. And I whistle the music to her favorite pop song, go downstairs, go outside, get in my work van, and begin my new day. Ta-da.
Hey, Don.
All right. So this what's going
Don,
on.
when you said you dreamt the dreams of an arrested man, what were you arrested for?
We're gonna take a little break here, ladies. I'm gonna go splash some water on my face, and I'll be back, and I'll play till about 20 past or 25 past. There's lots of folks here that are musicians and artists. During the after party, we'll ask them if they want to participate, and read a little something. Those of you that where you're not in the profession, as they say, which is really a hilarious thing to say about poets and storytellers and folk singers, that we're in a profession, but I guess we are. But you're welcome to raise your voice. Keep it kind of short, and we'll try to give everyone a chance, like I said earlier, to express themselves and to say what's on their minds. This is free. You're always welcome here, no matter what your status is. But I pay Brandon, the technician, so in your chats, there's going to be some information about how you can throw a few bucks our way if you want to. Again, no pressure. Like, I love you no matter what. You're always welcome where I am, no matter what. Even after this is all over, if you want to come to one of my concerts and you don't have any money, you call me, and you're more than welcome to come to it. So if you can throw a few bucks my way, I'll pay Brandon, and then if there's anything left over, I'll think of you in the market basket in the supermarket aisle when I'm shopping tomorrow. I'll be back in 2 minutes, maybe. We'll play for a little while longer, and then we'll see where we go from there. And thank you, everybody, for coming. All the work gets done in the valley. All the money rains down on the mountain top. When the money trickles down to the people in the valley, it's only one little drop to feed the family, one little drop to pay the medical bill, one little drop to pay the mortgage to the banker who sold it to the man at the top of the hill. Oh, they work so hard to divide us with a steady stream of lies. 'Cause if we ever stop fighting with each other, we might start asking each other why. If all the work gets done in the valley, why does all the money rain down on the mountain top? When the money trickles down to the people in the valley, why is it just a little drop, one little drop to feed the family, one little drop to pay the medical bill, one little drop to pay the mortgage to the banker who sold it to the man at the top of the hill. Keep on buying those politicians and those TV newsmen too. Make them say every day that my problem is my neighbor, when I know that my problem is you. Just keep lying about corporate tax breaks, how the jobs are gonna trickle down. But beware of the day when the people say that they are sick of being trickled on. One little drop to feed the family, one little drop to pay the medical bill, one little drop to pay the mortgage to the banker who sold it to the man at the top of the hill. Enjoy your view of the valley from that house on top of the hill. Right now the giant is sleeping, that doesn't mean that it always will. 'Cause when the sleeping giant starts moving, it is impossible to stop. You know every flood that ever washed a city away started with a little drop. One little drop will start an ocean. One little drop will start a wave. One little drop will start the flood that's coming to wash the gilded city away. If all of the work gets done in the valley, why does all the money rain down on the mountain top? When the money trickles down to the people in the valley, why is it just a little drop? Thank you, everyone. Welcome.
Beautiful, John.
I played that because on March 16th, Passim is doing a tribute to Scott Alric. Scott Alric is a very dear friend of mine. Him and I, we just had a lot of experiences together that other people didn't have with him. We did comedy and Catch a Rising Star as folk singers in a comedy club, which is a very, very small group of people who could say they did that. And he was an advocate for working people and for the history of folk music as a social movement. And I'm honored to be there and to be performing. And I'm going to play that song there. So that's on March 16th at Passim. I recommend it highly. I believe they'll stream it, so you can watch it from wherever. All kinds of people have donated video and everything to it. So there we go. So does anybody want to hear anything? Let's see.
John?
Hi, Christine. How you doing? I can't hear you. Wait a
You
second.
can't hear me?
Now I can. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
okay. I got here late, so I don't know. Did you read the story about the accordion door?
I didn't. I read a sort of a similar one. I referenced the accordion door. But
Oh, that's right. No, I did hear that one. Gosh, I'm trying to think. I love so much of your stuff.
Well, that's very sweet of you. Christine, how are you? Are you healthy? Everything good with you?
Oh yeah, except I had Judy knows. I told her I was screaming at a robot voice on PayPal earlier. It's a losing proposition when you're screaming at a robot.
That's right. You know, what do they say when you wrestle with a pig? You know, you get dirty and the pig likes it. Here, how about this one? I lost my mother, I lost my father. Well, I really didn't lose them. I know exactly where they both are. It's not like they went for a walk, took a wrong turn and both got lost. It just hurts less to say I lost them than to say they're dead. Betty May is 82. She's having more fun than me and you. All she wants to do is laugh and sing. She's the biggest flirt I ever seen. She still flutters over baby blues like she did when she was 22. So much mischief in those eyes. I never seen someone more alive. More alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. When my mother died, I was so smashed up inside. I was crying like a baby. I thought the pain might kill me. And Betty said, son, you don't believe how many loved ones I buried. My father, sister, my brother, son, my husband, and my mother. And every time I lose a friend, I think I'm never going to laugh again. I lay around and watch bad TV till my feeling comes over me. And then I put some music on and play my favorite song. Dance around my living room like we both were 22. Shake loose of that pain inside on the day when you decide not only will you survive, you're going to be more alive, more alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. She said, go ahead, feel your pain. Watch bad TV for days, but when you're ready to come out and play, you come see Betty May. And we'll put some music on and play your favorite song. Dance around my living room like we both were 22. Shake loose of that pain inside on the day when you decide not only will you survive, you're going to be more alive, more alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you in time, they can make you more alive.
Music on.
Right. Worst comedy show in the history of the internet, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is right here. All right, so
Now you go the other way and do "It's a Great Day."
I could do that. I'll do that. I'll play this other song here that Jamie wants to hear. I was WBZ did an interview with me today, WBZ Radio. So I was on AM radio today. You know you're doing good when you're on AM radio at drive time. Oh boy. 40
Wow,
seconds.
that's great.
40 seconds. Hey Don, what are you doing this weekend? I'm playing at Club Passy. And blah 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 blah. See you later. WBZ. Here we go. He's a lovely man, Carl Stevens, and it was very kind of him to do that. So I know somebody heard it because Jamie mentioned it. So he wants to hear this song. Our kids are grown. They're both in their 20s. They live at home. They are never gonna live. And why should they go? They've got a good ear, you know. Their food, their phone, the rent is free. They would have to be out of their minds to leave. But I was thinking, what if things were different? Living here at home with you and me. What if we decided we could act alike they both did when they were in their teens? So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I have got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. We'll both get really drunk, or we'll put a big dent in her trunk, and we'll drive real fast down the thoroughfare. If we get a speeding ticket, we won't care. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild, and they'll be the ones up all night worrying. Wake up, mama, climb out of this window. Come on up, be 16 with me. Picture our kids calling all of our friends up and asking them if they know where we are. Of course, all our friends will lie and say they ain't seen us all night, but we'll be standing right beside them while they're on the phone, smoking and drinking and carrying on. And when we come strolling home on Sunday morning, around 10 o'clock while the neighbors walk to church, our kids will ask us where we've been, and then they'll ask us again, and we will just make up a great big lie and swear that it's the truth until the day we die. And they'll be the ones trying to find the truth out, and we'll be the ones lying through our teeth. And under pressure, we'll confess that we had unprotected sex. That will gross them out so much they might just start to think about moving out. If turnabout is fair play in this life, what better way to encourage them to leave than to give them both a dose of what it was like to live with them when they were in their teens? So wake up, mama, climb out of this window. I have got the key, let's steal our daughter's car. We'll both get really drunk, we'll put a big dent in her trunk, and no one will know where we are until we come home in a police car. We'll be the ones up all night acting wild, and they'll be the ones up all night worrying. We go, mama, climb out of this window. Oh man, be careful. You're not as young as you used to be. That's 40 feet down there. I should have brought a ladder, probably. You know what? The kids are both drunk and passed out. Let's just go out the front door. Come on out and be 16 with me. crowd is going wild.
Yeah.
The crowd
Yeah.
is going wild.
All right, Don. Oh,
Listen,
man.
I
Thanks,
want to say
Don.
something. I'm going
Thank
to do
you,
one more
Don.
song, and then I want to say something to my friends that have supported me through over 2 years now of COVID. I never took any unemployment. I didn't do anything. I just did these live stream shows, and you guys helped me pay my rent and my mortgage and my grocery bills, and I couldn't love you any more than I do. And I can't wait to see you face to face. And I don't care what the rules are. If you come to see me in a concert, I am gonna hug you. Okay? I have a hug list that's 14 miles long now, and I'm hugging. So wear 4 masks or whatever, hold your breath, but expect a hug from me. All right? I'm gonna play this song. I normally would end with something really serious or whatever, or thoughtful or whatever. The world is making me nervous these days, and if it's not making you nervous, you're really not paying attention. There's things to be nervous about, but I appreciate the artists out there and the poets and the writers all putting positive energy into the world. This is a song that has no redeeming social value at all. It's called it's got the best title of any song that I've ever written in my life. It's called This Is Nothing. Which I really believe is the best title of a song yet. And so this is about weed being legal and my concerns. I'm glad that's legal, but I'm concerned about conversation. I'm concerned that the quality of conversation is being decimated by the availability, the fact that you can't go anywhere in Lynn, Massachusetts and not smell weed. It's coming out of churches and liquor stores and kindergartens and police cars and everything. And so this is just my concerns about that. When we get together, and we will get together, we'll talk. And I love conversation. I've had conversation. I'm looking at everybody here, and almost everyone here, I've sat down and listened to them. And the kind of conversation that I love the most is the kind where the person you're talking to can remember what you just said. That's my favorite. I love that kind of conversation. So here's something, and I'm practicing getting the audience to sing on this. Please don't sing on Zoom because Zoom isn't the 10th level of hell, but it's like the 3rd level of hell when you all sing. It's something like that. It's an unpleasant cacophony. But anyway, I'll do this song, take a 1-minute break, and then I'm gonna ask anybody who wants to sing or read a poem or say something, and just celebrate the fact that we are peace-loving human beings in a world where that has a tremendous amount of value. All right. I sat around with a bunch of stoners. I listened to them talk all night long. They were sure that their conversation was deep with meaning. They were wrong, 'cause when you smoke it makes you stupid. I thought you knew it, but I was wrong. We're not having a conversation. We're doing nothing at all. My friend Harry lit up a fatty to celebrate my brand new job. I watched his brain float out of my window. He left me talking to an empty blob. 'Cause when you smoke it makes you stupid. I thought you knew it, but I was wrong. We're not having a conversation. This is nothing at all. All right. So it's 1979. I'm 19 years old. I'm in the basement of my friend's mother's house. She's away for the weekend. All my friends are there. We're all just graduated from high school. There's a tremendous amount of smoke in the room. I look across the room to my friend, my best friend. I see him through the haze, and I know that I can tell by the look on his face that he's about to say something that is so profound, that is so unbelievably brilliant and insightful that were I only to apply the information he was about to give me to my own life, it would alter the trajectory of my entire life. And I'm waiting for him to say it. So I'm gonna get into character for this. First, I have to droop my eyes quite a bit. And then I have to slow the song down to stoner speed. Wait a minute. Here we go. That's it. It's still a little fast for stoner speed, but I think that's okay. Here's the important knowledge. You ready? What if our whole life was just a dream, man? What if we're dreaming this right now? I forgot what I was just saying. Let's order pizza. Pizza, wow! 'Cause when you smoke it makes you stupid. I thought you knew it, but I was wrong. We're not having a conversation. This is nothing at all. It cures glaucoma. It cures insomnia. Some people say that it is a cancer cure, but it does not cure incoherent conversation, that's for sure.
Oh, Don. All right.
All right, thank you. Look, everybody's firing up now. I can see you all on the screen. All right, good job. I'm proud of you. Go ahead. Don't. It's all right. When you start talking, don't expect me to keep focus. I'll try, but try to stay on. So I'm just gonna take a 1 minute break. Again, if you can throw a few bucks my way, that would be great, but don't worry about it. We do need to pay Brandon though, that's the most important thing. Let's give Brandon a nice hand for being a superstar behind the scenes.
Oh, Brandon!
Hey, Brandon!
All right, so let's see, Judy, Christine, Nick, Kevin, Tony, Bruce, Robin, Benjamin, any of you guys want to play a song or talk or whatever, that's coming up in a minute. We'll just go around and you can, just put the spotlight on everybody. And those of you that come all the time that aren't guitar players or whatever, if you want to say something or raise your voice, I recommend it. Like I said, creating a space where voices can get comfortable saying how they feel is a radical behavior, and it's an important thing to do in this world. So we'll do that. That's what I want to do with my birthday. I want to hear the voices of the people in the world. So I'll be back in 1 minute. Thank you.
He's going to urinate.
Sounds like a good idea.
I know him pretty well. It takes more than 1 minute.
Sounds like you know him a little too well.
In the gator world, that's called a bio, B-I-O, and it also stands for back in 1 minute, but it's also a bio dump.
Ooh, production values. Listen to that.
All right. So this is those of you that are here with me here on Zoom and everybody. You guys are my birthday present. I'm so glad to see you. And there's so anybody watching on other platforms, you're welcome to come over here. Brandon will put the Zoom information into your chats, and you can come and yak at me, whatever. But I thought we'd just go around and just sing song, whatever, just express ourselves. I really like the idea of people gathering and proclaiming the fact that we are good humans. You know, that it's an important thing to do. So a really great human is here, Mr. Matt Watroba. There he is right there from Michigan. So Matt, how are you, my friend?
Happy birthday, Don.
Thank you, my buddy.
Do you see how I decorated for you? That's not a background. That's real shit there. I want you to know that I bought those balloons exactly 2.5 weeks ago because I knew that's how long it would take for them to deflate and wrinkle just for your 65th birthday.
Well, right, the way that I'm deflating and wrinkling as we right in front of everybody's eyes. You know, this is a really good friend of mine. I met him New Year's Eve, 1999, the turn of the century. Christine Lavin put a show together at the Arc in Ann Arbor for an album called The Stealth Project, and Matt and I became fast friends right away, and he's really become just one of my closest friends. I call him up all the time, and we talk, and I just love him a lot. So Matt, do you got a tune you want to play or anything you want to do here?
Yeah, sure. I was just trying to decide what to do. Is there anything in particular you might like, or anybody else in the room? Or I'm flexible and happy to play. I see Neil's here. Maybe I should play that song he just asked me about. How's that sound?
Whatever you can do for Neil, that's the thing to do, because Neil is the greatest human being who ever lived.
I'm starting to get that feeling. So Neil, I'm going to play this so you can see my hands.
Oh, I would love that, Matt. Thank you so very much.
Then you can go back and run the tape.
There you go. I will. Thank you, Matt.
I'll try to keep it out there for you. Hi, Christine. Great to see you. So good to see everybody, and wish my big brother a happy birthday. Song for the times, I guess. This is a tune I wrote, as I've been saying, when I realized that in 2017, I think half of my Facebook friends unfriended the other half of my Facebook friends. That's the world we live in. Could you love me if I don't look like you? Is it deeper? Is it stronger? Something hidden, something true. If I stare a little longer, will I see myself in you? Could you love me if I don't look like you? Could you love me if I don't think like you? Is it deeper? Is it stronger? Something hidden, something true. If I stare a little longer, will I see myself in you? Could you love me if I don't think like you? This life's a burning candle, and it would be a shame if we ignored the difference between the smoke and the flame. Could you love me if I don't pray like you? Is it deeper? Is it stronger? Something hidden, something true. If I stare a little longer, will I see myself in you? Could you love me if I don't pray like you? This moment is a miracle, so why not find a way to be here and be grateful that we share another day? Could you love me if I don't love like you? Is it deeper? Is it stronger? Something hidden, something true. If I stare a little longer, will I find myself in you? Could you love me if I am not like you?
Beautiful, Matt.
Oh, Matt, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
That's a really good birthday present, man. That's great. Thank you,
Thank
my
you,
friend.
Matt.
You're the best, Matt.
I love you, Don. You know it.
I love you too, man. I can't wait to see you again. And yeah. All right, let's do it one more time for Matt Wittrova. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, beautiful, Matt. Thank
All
you.
right. So let's see. Look at this cast of characters here. Oh man. Let's see. Richard Fox, how are you feeling? Unmute yourself, buddy.
Oh, I'm feeling good.
You're feeling good. Richard Fox has been kicking cancer's ass for 12 years, 13 years, something like that. Is that it?
There are perks, Don. There are perks. I'm
there are
getting
perks?
IV Decadron right now.
Nice. So you sharing? Can I have some?
No, but my nurse smiles as she gives it to me. But she knows if she asks me a question, she's going to get a really long answer.
Richard Fox, again, one of my favorite people on earth. His new book, I'm about halfway through it, Richard. I'm just drinking it in beautifully. Can you tell everybody the name of it?
Sure, it's called Let's Sleep Lest Our Arrival. It's a sequel in a sense to the last book I wrote. It's a novella in verse. So
it's beautiful. It's about being Jewish. It's about having cancer. It's about being a heartfelt human being. It's funny. She's got an uncle that kicks everybody's ass in it. It's really good, Richard. Do you want to read a little something? Or we're just kind of going around one times and people doing short pieces, but I'd love to hear something from you.
Well, so I read something happy and make. You and I met at the old Vienna, and it was the first time you were playing Rascal. And I happened to have a dog named Rascal at that time. And I was there with my son, and he looked at me like, "Oh my God, is that your life?" So anyway, this is a song, poem that has a dog in it, and it's about love.
Like an old familiar.
Oop.
You got Brandon on that. He's good.
For Anne on Valentine's Day. Jason Dog scouts the couch. You and I sit hip to hip. He leaps, noses in between. What's going on? A tug of war at Friendlies rips the check in two. Are we dating? Crack up, fall on the floor, gasping for air, garbled speech. Jason howls, scatters rugs. His people broken? Mount Wachusett, sunbathe on the summit rocks, dine in a nice restaurant. I pay. We're dating. You return from a hospital shift, wee hours, no barking alarm. Jason's wagging tail greets. Welcome home. Dinner with Dad twice a week. He replaces our 12-inch TV. We can watch the Celtics. Filling out residency applications, you ask if you should stay near. Do I want you here? I say marriage doesn't scare me. You nod, make notes, keep a calm face. How to convert? Dad will talk to Rabbi G. Dad asked me, isn't it time you got her a ring? I slipped the question in while we unpacked groceries. We're engaged. 2 days later, blizzard of 78, detour on drive home, pick up a bouquet, 10-minute ride drifts into 90, standstill traffic, park my truck in front of your bug. They vanish. White mound, we're snowbound. Jason should be flower dog. No way, you say. Compromise. He attends the reception, chaperones the honeymoon. Midnight, the inn soundproof walls, woken by bed-shaking snores. We blame the other. Snores restart. The room next door. We bang heads, giggle. Jason groans, ponders human senses, awareness. No mystery to mating. Body's frantic choreography, fragrant cues, panting. Dog damn. Thank
Yeah, beautiful. Richard, awesome.
Richard, that was great.
Sending like,
Happy birthday, Don. Love you, man. And
I love you too, man. You're the best. You're one of the best guys. But and so everybody, the information for how to get Richard's books are in the chats there. So Christine, I see you turned your lights on. I kind of like the bunker view that you had going there, like you were doing from some a war zone someplace. It was good. There you go, right there. Like this, Christine Lavin reporting from an undisclosed location. Right there. Can you highlight her, please, Brandon? We want to unmute Christine.
Pizza flying on her head.
Oh, nice pizza.
Nice pizza flying on her head.
I thought it was a birthday hat. Oh.
Could be a birthday hat.
I thought it was a pizza too.
I did too. I thought you were going to do cold pizza for breakfast.
That's what I thought.
No. Well, Don, you're 65. That's a big number. That's a really, really big number for Papa Don.
I feel every second of it, I have to tell you.
Jesus, wait a minute. I got to make it a little bit later here.
All right.
Wow! Oh, it's better dark. What was I thinking?
It's good. It's all right.
There we go. All right.
That'd be a good name for a song. What was I thinking?
Here we go. It's a short little song just to give you an idea what's coming up for you. I'm a fly on a plane. I am buzzing all around. Got none in Houston. I'm San Antonio bound. I'm not riding in coach. I think I'll fly first class. I'm on the head of a banker. Zip, zip, I'm on the rim of her glass. My, oh my, I'm a fly, taking a free ride on a plane. I'm a fly on a plane. My flight's a little erratic. The highest I've ever been was in a swing time cowgirl's attic. I didn't mean to leave home, but now the die is cast. I guess my destiny is to roam and to fly really fast, very fast, mighty fast. My oh my, I'm a fly, taking a free ride on a plane. When I get to San Antonio, I'm gonna make a lot of new fly friends. When I tell them that I am from Houston, the eyes will bug out and they'll say, come again. Don't tell us no Texas tall-tailed. How did you get here? I'll say, I flew. Although San Antonio flies sing, men alive, we've got immense respect for you. Whoa, 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 whoa. Zip, zippity doo dah. Zip, zippity yay. Zip, zippity doo dah. Say hey, Willie Mae, say hey. I'm a fly on a plane. I got a lot of dreams. I never counted on a rolled up in flight magazine.
Bravo. Bravo.
Oh, Christine, that's good.
So sad.
I love that one.
Fucking fly.
It's always been one of my favorite, Christine. Good for you.
Didn't even have a name.
Beautiful. Thank you, Christine.
No, but it creates quite a bit of buzz, I hear.
Christine, I love you so much. Christine, as those of you that don't know, like I first met her in 1993. She did more for me in in 2 weeks than my record company did in 5 years. In that point, and then we toured for 8 or 9 years all around North America. And I just recently was. My first time out performing was she asked me to sit in with her at the Zeiterion down in New Bedford, and I have to tell you, 800 people in the audience, everybody wearing masks, and so emotional. Don't you think, Christine? Like the audience was crying. People.
I got to tell you guys, what happened was so magical because we were just doing mini sets to open the show. There was 5 of us. It was John Gorka, Cliff Eberhardt, Patty Larkin, Cheryl Wheeler, and me. And I went first. And I forget what I did as my first song, but I knew that I was going to ask Don to come out and sing "Good Thing She Can't Read My Mind" as the second song. And so I'm just talking. I said, I love being here. It's so great to see people out at a show, and here we are in the state where Don White lives. And there was this great applause from the audience, like just spontaneous, just by saying Don's name. And I said, guess what? He's here, and he's gonna come do his song. And he came out and he killed. And I kid you not, that is when the show peaked. And I felt sorry for everybody else in the show.
It was really good.
Oh, that's great.
Emotional too, like just to be with other musicians and to hear them play. You don't realize what you give up while you're giving it up, but it was great. So Christine, I love you so much, and thanks for popping by. Let's hear it one more time for Christine.
Yay, Christine!
Yay, Christine!
Look at this, like a rogues gallery. Tingle, you hiding behind that thing? Jimmy Tingle, snap out of it. Come to life. There he is.
Hey, Don.
How are you, buddy?
It's great to see you. Happy birthday, my friend.
Hey,
I just wanted to jump in real quick and just say happy birthday. I love you. I don't have a lot to say tonight, but one observation I think we can all relate to is one of the interesting things about getting older is older people start to look more attractive to you. You're at a wedding. Eddie, man, your aunt, she's looking pretty good, brother. What's she, 90? Don, I love you. I want to thank you for everything. And I'm not really prepared to do anything tonight, but I just want to thank you for all your support and all the great things you're doing for so many people, and all those Zoom show you did for the last year and a half. They were awesome, and it was a great way to connect with people. And thank you for introducing me to Brandon. He's awesome. He's the best.
Yeah,
Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you, Jimmy. You're the best. Jimmy
birthday.
Tingle.
Hey, Jimmy!
So I first met Jimmy Tingle.
For Jimmy Tingle. I hope Jimmy Tingle.
Hey, Jimmy!
Jimmy, am I right about this? When I first met you, you were just fresh sober, right? Like you were just right. And Brandon, can you side by side us? And you were saying, I don't want to just do stand up. I want to do like be more. I don't need a laugh every 30 seconds. I want to be able to go stretch out. And then we started talking about poets and poetry and spoken word and all that. And that was at Catch a Rising Star, right? Way back.
Catch a Rising Star, that's right. We did some things there. Then we did, you were turning me on to the folk scene and the poetry scene, and you could stretch out and do things on stage that weren't necessarily stand-up comedy, which was great. It was a real game changer in my career and outlook and the way I can perform these days,
Yeah.
So I just really thank you for that. Oh, by the way, newsflash today, the My Pillow guy is being sued by his wife for $35 million. She's saying it's her pillow. These are just things that are coming across. but
I love that.
What's going on, Don? Yes, and what you're doing tonight. I mean, I don't want to get off on a big thing, but just one thing. introducing me to spoken word, poetry, commentary. That's what they're opposing in Russia, and that's what they're opposing in China, and that's what authoritarian regimes are opposing. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and all of that. And so what we're doing here is very, very special, and you're instrumental in that, in this whole genre. So I just want to thank you, brother, for keeping freedom alive in the United States of America.
All
God
right,
bless you.
Jimmy.
Thank you, Reverend Tinkle. Bravo.
Oh, Jimmy.
Let freedom ring. All right. Robin Bannerman, what are you doing, buddy? Like unmute so I can talk to you.
There you go. Am I unmuted?
You are. So Robin
Alright.
is coming to us from Chicago, a fantastic musician. Him and his wife perform together. They've been our guests many times. Did you want to play a tune, or do you have something to
Sure.
say? Or?
I definitely want to say, I've been watching these shows. Sometimes I just got them on in the background on Thursday nights, and it's just so lovely to hear you. And I think one of the reasons we all like to get on is just hear a bunch of adults telling each other that they love each other, and it's just such a special thing. And that is what this song is about. It takes a certain amount of intelligence to have feelings, but it takes another kind of intelligence to be like Don White and string the
Robin,
thoughts together.
Sorry for butting in. I'm going to ask you to watch your original sound, make sure it's set right.
Oh yeah. Let's do that. Audio settings.
Brandon, can you help him out?
We can actually hear you.
Yeah.
Robin, are you on the work computer?
I got suppress background noise.
Put that on low.
Low. All right.
Yep, and then the next section down, you'll see music and professional audio. Check that box.
Got it.
Right below that, and check all three of the boxes below that.
Got those.
If you have them. All right, so X out of that window, and then in the top left corner of the screen, you'll now see the word original sound, : does it say off or on?
Off.
Click it, it's a button, it'll switch to on, and then you're in music mode. Good to go.
Right.
We want
I
you to sound
promise
good,
promise my song will be more interesting than this.
These people have heard me do this 1,000 times. It's okay, they're used to it.
This is the new performance art right here.
Well, thanks for everything you're doing, Don. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, buddy.
You've got to enunciate your love. You've got to enunciate your love. If you want your friends to listen, then pronounce it with precision. Yes, you've got to enunciate your love. The rain in Spain don't just fall in any old place, but it might as well not fall at all. If you can't understand what the gentleman says, you've got to enunciate. Stand up straight, clearly state your love. Well, now clarity is the way to go when you're sharing your deepest emotions. So communicate loudly and clearly enough. You've got to enunciate your love. You've got to enunciate your love. You've got to enunciate your love. If you want your friends to listen, then pronounce it with precision. Yes, you've got to enunciate your love. You've got to enunciate your love. You've got to enunciate your love. If you want your friends to listen, then pronounce it with precision. Yes, you've got to enunciate your love. Well, if you whisper into your lover's ear, don't let your words be wasted. Make sure you whisper loud and clear. You've got to enunciate. Well, stand up straight, clearly state your love. Well, now think about what it is you want to say so you can string some words together in a phrase. No need to make it up on the spot or off the cuff. You've got to enunciate your love. We've got to enunciate your love. You've got to enunciate your love. If you want your friends to listen, then pronounce it with precision. Yes, you've got to enunciate your love.
Yeah.
Hey, Robin.
Oh, Robin, that was awesome.
Thanks, Robin.
Happy
That's
birthday
great.
to you, Don. I love you, man.
I love you too, man. I can't wait to get out there. I was saying earlier that I'm gonna try to cut back on traveling if I can, but I'll be in Detroit a lot, so I think I'm gonna feel the pressure to get over there to Chicago. So hopefully we'll be face to face again sometime in the next year.
Indeed.
So. All right, one more time for Robin. Nicely done, buddy.
Yeah, Robin.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so let's see. Judy Cass, did you want to do a song or something? I have. You still there? Did you?
Yeah, I'm still here. Whoops, I was still here. I want to say hello.
Well, hello.
Say hello, and I wanted to tell you happy birthday. Well, I don't know. Are we allowed to do that? I don't really have a song prepared, but maybe I can just do this.
Well, if I'm making the rules, you're allowed to do anything.
Ooh, don't tempt me.
So you understand about Zoom and the original sound and all that stuff?
Yeah, I have mine on. I have original sound. Am I sounding okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Don. Happy birthday to you. That's all. I know. I'm really glad to be here.
Great, Judy.
Thank you, Judy. Judy, where do you live? What state are you in?
I live in New York, Tarrytown, New York.
Tarrytown. Oh, what, do you have anything coming up where people can come and see you? I mean, I'm sure you...
Working on that. I had a bit of a respite. I had some vocal surgery done. It was pretty interesting. I wasn't allowed to talk for 5 days, and my family emailed the doctor and expressed their concern, thinking I probably needed more time. So I'm coming back and we'll be scheduling some more things. I just came off a couple of things actually. Did some things before the surgery, but they'll be coming.
Well, great. Good health to you and recuperation. And I hope we're face to face again sometime. And thank you for that song. It was just
Judy, I think your voice sounds clearer already.
I know. I'm really happy. I had a benign cyst removed. That if you've ever looked at your vocal cords, it's pretty amazing. But I had this cyst that had been growing and was really giving me a very hard time. I was hoarse. I had the peppermint patty thing going on for a while. It was pretty distressing and scaring for a singer-songwriter to have that happening to their voice. But I recommend, if anyone is ever going through any vocal issues, New York Langione Center, Voice Center is the bomb. They're the place. They're real experts, and they've been wonderful with me, and I'm very grateful. So it's coming back.
well, that's so great. I'm so happy. All right, so I have an idea now. So Kevin Sukroff is here, which, by the way, is a Ukrainian name. He was an open micer for us at Speak Up for many years, and that's when I first got to know him. And he's a person who writes, just has a gentle spirit, and I'm glad that he's here. And I thought, since Tony's here, he could introduce him. What do you think about that, Tony? Let's pretend we're at Speak Up, and you introduce Kevin.
Ladies and gentlemen, up next on the open mic is a fellow who jumps a hold of words, and he grabs them and he rides the words and he trains them to go in places that I never expected they could jump over. Here's Kevin!
Thank you very much. And I'll tell you, for the 6 and 7 years that I was at open mic, it was such a great experience. Not only did I get to be with greats like Don and Tony, but I also, I believe that didn't Jimmy Tingle be one of the one of the speak up guys there? So that was really good. I apologize because I'm just listening and I'm just enjoying everyone. And I just want to thank you. It is a pleasure to see everyone. My daughter Hannah's behind me. She is about to move out. And Don, as soon as she moves out, I'm getting a smaller place. No, I'm just joking. But I want to thank everyone for being here, and it's just a pleasure to see you, Dawn, and everyone else. We remember Christine's concert. My daughter remembers Christine's concert with "Don't Buy a Puppy When You're Drunk" and things like that. So it's great. But, thank you again, and I love everyone here. So have a great night.
All right, Kevin. Thank you. You're the best. That's a really gentle spirit and a nice man right there.
Nice, Kevin.
All right, so let's see. Bruce, do you want to do something? You got a short piece you'd like to do, or?
Sure.
So this is Bruce Marcus, a really good storyteller and somebody that I don't get to see that much, so I'm glad that he's here.
I'm glad that I'm here too. It's nice seeing you at the top of your craft, and I'm really enjoying all the offerings here. Dawn, this is your birthday song. It isn't very long.
Yay!
But I do have an offering besides that. But that's I learned that one from storyteller Jackson Gilman, so I can't take credit for that. This one I can take credit for. And I thought, because it's your birthday and all, should do something very cheerful. So this is a piece that I call When It's My Time to Die. This is something, some 65-year-olds might be thinking about, right? When it's my time to die, what will it be like? Will it be very much just like riding a bike off of a cliff into the unknown? Does it hurt when I land? Can I still use my phone? When it's my time to die, when will that be? First thing in the morning or 2:45? Today or next week or decades from now? I guess it won't matter much then anyhow. When it's my time to die, will I be of good cheer? Will my doctor allow me just one last cold beer? I wrote that line for Tony's benefit. Will I be in a coma or quite well aware? Will I cling to life still? Will I still even care? When it's my time to die, will I be stoic or grovel or go like some tough guy in a cheap dime store novel? Will there be angels, fanfare, and speeches, mourners and lawyers and inheritance leeches? When it's my time to die, will I sing my swan song? Will I fight and resist or just move right along? Will an accident take me or the hand of another? Will I say something clever? Will I call out for mother? When it's my time to die, will I be sharp and sane or just a sad body with no working brain? Might I reflect upon life's loss and gain? Will I wax poetic or just simply wane? When it's my time to die, what happens next? Do I come back again or just cease to exist? Is a soul really something that lives on its own? Where does it go? Does it call someplace home? When it's my time to die, I'll try not to complain, depending, of course, on my level of pain. I pray doctors and nurses will serve as a buffer to keep me in comfort and not let me suffer. When it's my time to die, if confined to a bed with nothing to live for, already half dead, I hope some kind doctor prescribes overdose that ushers me out in an hour at most. When it's my time to die, will I go slow or quickly? Will my end be quite sudden or gradual and sickly? Will I be all alone or with loved ones and friends? Will I be of sound mind? Will I know it's the end? When it's my time to die, I hope I go fast or peacefully fade until I breathe my last. Can't say I ain't worried or that I don't care, but I know that I don't get to choose when or where. When it's my time to die, be it old or too young, will I feel ready or feel already done? Might I wish I could live life all over again? Will what matters most to me still matter then? When it's my time to die, I'll let go of strife and try to forgive all who have wronged me in life. Likewise, say sorry where I may have done wrong, and content then, wait for that last final gong. Speaking of which, when it's my time to die, will a church ring a bell? I suppose not, because I am Jewish. Oh well. Will I reincarnate, go to heaven or hell? Do such things exist? How can one tell? When it's my time to die, to go and decease, I'll join the ancestors, be at rest and at peace, pass through the veil by the farm, be all done, go belly up, bite the dust and the big one. Give up the ghost, give up the ship, push up some daisies and cash in my chips, go 6 feet under, count worms and check out, take a dirt nap and take my last bow, meet my end and my maker, say my goodbyes, become belated and shutter my eyes, perish, be history, snuff out my fire, drop dead, strike camp, go south and expire, take my eternal nap, sleep my big sleep and count to infinity while counting sheep, go up to heaven, up and leave, up and die, go up to that last great round up in the sky, go the way of all flesh and to my reward, fall off my horse and onto my sword, greet my loved ones, those who went on before, board that last train and step out the door, croak, kick the bucket, pass on and away, say au revoir, meet again one fine day, take my final exit and return to clay, call it a life and be on my way. When it's my time to die, I'll burn my bucket list, fade out and away and into the mist, cease and desist and no longer exist, chase down the sunset and hope that I'm missed. When it's my time to die, I'll let go of it all, the bills and commitments, the schedules and calls, all but the love. I'll bid that please stay, and take it wherever is next, if I may. When it's my time to die, far as I can tell, I'll bid all the fine folks I've known fond farewell, with a wave of my hand, a tip of my hat, a quotable quote, and that will be that.
Bruce, that was great.
Bruce, that was great.
Thank you, Bruce.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Happy birthday, Don White.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks. All right. So now, Tim Mason, where are you? Is Tim still here? There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Tim Mason from New Mexico, a regular here. How you feeling, Tim? You feeling good?
Well, yes, considering the week that I've had, as you know, I broke my brain, and then ended up acquiring COVID with my wife in a hospital.
Nice.
And then my father passed away.
Jesus.
So it's not been the most stellar of weeks at all. But yes, I've got it all done. And as far as breaking one's brain goes, I consider myself lucky because
Can we just say that Tim had a stroke like that, right? Like that's what he's talking about, right?
yes, that's what I'm talking about. I had a stroke that only affected my speech and my jaw. I didn't lose anything else, and I didn't notice for a couple of days. So all things considered, I'm counting myself on the lucky side of it all. And I feel great. Now I just need to get back to work because it's tax season and they've kept me away from my desk for 2 weeks. So,
All right, so let's just review. You have a stroke. You don't know that or my father would say, if I had a stroke and I didn't know for 2 days, he would say, that's because you're numb from the ass up, just so you know what my dad would say. And then you go to the hospital and then you get COVID, right? At the hospital. Beautiful. It's like you're getting the Job treatment, right?
pretty much it was, I thought because I couldn't speak, it had something to do with my digestion and my swallowing. So I went to see the ear, nose, and throat guy. And he's like, what are you coming to me for? It looks like maybe it's this other thing. So then he sent me off And I finally called my brother who works in cardiology, and it's like, go to the ER. So I finally did that. And then it was almost as good as you're like going in chest pains. I go in and say, they're telling me I got to see if I have a stroke. And well, come this way. And boom, boom, boom. And the next thing I know, it got me stuck up with IVs and they're running me through machines and they don't let me, they kidnap me, they keep me overnight. It was just, and,
Listen.
but they only gave me baby aspirin.
That's
That was,
you know,
that was the actual.
I'll meet you in Lynn. I'll get you something. I'll meet you in Lynn. We'll take care of that for you, Tim. All right. Listen, I love you. You're an important person in my life. Try not to die. If that's not too much to ask, try not to die.
Yeah, I'm working on that, and I'm thinking I can paraphrase a piece that I created a while ago. And it has to do about aging. It actually has to do with the process that happens as we actually become bionic and acquire superpowers. So as we age, we get these devices, these spectacles that bring small print up in a large, illegible, big screen just at the flip of a switch. We can acquire hearing aids, amplifiers for our ears that can bring the slightest sound into clarity, or can allow us to turn it off and ignore everybody at the flip of a finger. And we acquire a sturdy staff to allow us to have extra mobility, and eventually we will get a chair with wheels so we can traverse smooth surfaces at the flick of a wrist. See, this is about acquiring superpowers, and you are well on your way.
Bravo.
Nice, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
You guys take care of yourselves, will you?
All right.
And try and
All right.
Thank
so
you.
here, thank you, Tim. I love you. All right. So hi, Jenny. How you doing? Look at you. I see you. So here, this is what's gonna happen here. Jenny, if you want to sing something, you're welcome to. So Sarah, I'm gonna give you a chance, and then Nick Zano, Tony Toledo, and anybody else that wants to do anything. You don't have to be somebody making their living from it. The one thing I loved about the open mics and all that was that I just love it when people say how they feel and when sing what they want and do what they want, whatever level it's at, you know. So let me start with Sarah. So those of you that are new here today, Sarah comes every week. She lives in California. She's the center point of this, as far as I'm concerned. She's when she shows up, then it's time to start the show. It's just she used to live in Lynn, so she's got that going for her too. And she's just a fantastic human being. She dropped a note and said she wanted to say a few things. So Sarah, the stage is yours, my friend.
Well, I just love you, Don, and I would definitely not get paid for the writing that I'm doing, but this is from my heart today. What can I say about Don White? Well, for sure, he makes our Thursday nights bright. Happy birthday, Don. Without you, we'd be gone. Who knew that COVID would have some good? If we could reach through the screens, hug you and kiss you, we would. Thank you, Donnie. Because of you, we're not so balmy. The end.
Yeah, bravo.
Oh, nice one, Sarah.
You know, this is, I didn't know what to expect here, but this is what I want. This is a nice birthday present to me, just to be with people, through this technology. All right, thank you, Sarah. I love you.
I love you, Johnny.
In case anyone didn't hear me earlier, I'm going to do these things until the end of March, and then take a break on that. So we'll see you till then. All right. So what did I say now? So Nick Zano, you still here, buddy? Where are you? They are.
I'm right
This is
here.
Nick Zano, a dear friend of mine. He helps me out all over the place. A good songwriter, and Sarah was bragging about his songs online there. So Nick, if you got something you want to do, go right ahead.
Well, I was thinking I would do "Live Through You" because I know you like that one, but I don't know if I've overplayed that one.
No, do it. This
Here
is,
for do okay.
yeah, this is a song that Nick wrote that I just love.
Yeah.
All you songwriters out there, you know, this is.
All right.
Just think of how many songs I've heard in my life. This one, I never forgot it from the minute I heard it.
All right. Just have to make sure I can actually reach the harmonica, otherwise it looks kind of silly to have it.
Hang on one second. And Jimmy Tingle, I want you to pay attention. This has got one of the best lines about Democrats and Republicans ever written in.
I'm familiar with Nick.
I've lived through a root canal. I've lived through a spinal tap. I've lived through a heart attack. And I can live through you. I made it through my summer jobs. I made it through public school. I made it through state school. And I can live through you. Yeah, I may be stumbling. Yeah, I'm a little drunk. Yes, I let my friends fill my head with junk. Yes, I've seen some sorrow, and I've seen some sin. And I've seen my blood enough to wonder what could do me in. I've talked to a Democrat, talked to a Republican. I'll never do that again, but I can live through you. Yeah. I've lived in small towns, and I've lived the city life, the subtle trauma of suburban strife, and I can live through you. I made it through gym class, I made it through the school dance. Neither gave me half a chance, but I can live through you. Yeah, I may be stumbling, and yeah, I'm a little drunk. Yes, I let my friends fill my head with junk. Yes, I've seen some sorrow, and I've seen some sin. And I've seen my blood enough to wonder what could do me in. I made it through my first kiss, and I've caught some cold fish. I might have a death wish, but I can live through you. I can live through you. I can live through you. I can live through you.
Ah, Nick, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank
That
you.
was great, Nick.
That was awesome.
Thank you, Nick. So, Nick, we're getting some reverb off of your thing, so mute yourself there, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Thanks. That was great, too, by the way. Love you a lot. All right, so we're winding down. Jenny, did you want to do something?
I definitely want to say happy birthday to the inimitable Don White. He who hath convened us, he who hath continually entertaineth us, he who deserves to be feted, the French word meaning celebration, not a description for ripe cheese. Don White, our friend, indeed. Oh, my goodness.
Bravo,
You're
bravo.
a wonderful, wonderful human being. I couldn't be happier to be here.
Thank you. I'm gonna try to get to Chicago. There's no money in it for me, but I think there's a few people there that I really care about and I want to see them. Kevin, who comes every week. Marilyn Ray Byer is there now. She's
Yes, yeah.
and you guys. So I'm gonna go over there. And if I'm, it's 5 hours from Detroit, right? So.
Oh my gosh, yes. You got a
All right.
place to stay. Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So I think Tony, why don't you know if you got something short that you'd like to do? I think it would be right since you and I partnered and spent so much time encouraging people to find their voices that you get the last word here, if that's okay.
Ooh. I got to say that doing Speak Up with Don was just this great joy where you have a two-person committee and having Speak Up every Wednesday and looking for different features. And Don said Speak Up is for people who don't get a voice. So one of them that stands in mind was Nick. And Nick was this fellow, another Nick, not you, Nick Zano, another Nickerson. And he's over there. And Wayne was pretty rough around the edges. And he burned a lot of bridges behind him. And Don held out the olive branch and said, "Hey, I think you're ready to do a feature for us." And he came over and he did a half-hour feature and he wore a three-piece suit and he sang and he told stories and it was just fantastic. And he came right in on the 30 minutes and it was a moment to see him shine. And I got to say that I was curious how he would do and wondered, but Don, you knew the call and you had him come in and it was like just a beautiful thing. And then when I read about his passing, I was so bummed that he was gone and the whole thing with the pandemic. So, but little story for you here. This is one I heard a long time ago down at Jonesboro. Doc McConnell had it. Why dogs smell other dogs' tails. This is also in honor of Rascal and all the other people talking with their dogs. Back when the world was new, the dogs, they always walked around and they loved to comb their fur on their head and they loved to comb their chest. But what they were most proud of was combing their tails. And they would comb and comb and comb their tails until they were just perfect. And all the dogs on Sunday would go to church. Now, all the dogs in the beginning of the world were Unitarians. It's much later they branched out into other faiths. And when the dogs were there in the church and the dog minister stood up on the top, he was up there preaching about hellfire and Dalmatians. And the dogs, they had thought, oh, their tails were going to be so smushed. So before the service, they'd gone out and they took their tails off because when the world was new, the dogs could take their tails and hang them on the back of the church. And then when the service was over, they could pop them back on and their tails would be perfect. And they wouldn't be so smushed up from sitting on them. Well, when that dog minister was going on and hollering about that, suddenly down in the basement, the dog janitor hollered, "Fire!" And the furnace had caught on fire and smoke was pouring out of everywhere. And the dogs were barking and howling and they ran to the back of the church and they grabbed the first tail they could feel through the smoke and they popped it on. And when they got outside, they looked and the Chow Chows had gotten the poodles' tails and the German Shepherds had gotten the Springer Spaniels. And the dash hounds had gotten the bulldogs' tails and they tried to pull them off, but that smoke had acted like glue and those tails were stuck. And that's why from that day to this, anytime two strange dogs meet each other, they run up there, smell that other dog's tail to try to find that one that they'd lost so long ago.
Thank you, Tony. Beautiful.
Happy birthday, Don. I love your brother. And I got to say, what a great guy to work with through Speak Up and just a beautiful thing that you planted and that seed has just spread out all over the place.
Well, thank you, Tony. So I'm just going to build a little bit on what he said. So Nick, the guy he was talking about, had a lot of problems, and he could get angry, he had mental health issues, and we had great big discussions on whether we should even let him in the place. He had issues. But I talked to the guy who owned the venue and to Tony and said, if people with mental health problems aren't welcome here, then I'm not doing it anymore. We have to watch them and keep an eye on them, and we have to be as a team to keep them in line and straighten them out. But of the groups that can't find another place to go, that's the primary one. And when he had his feature, I'll bet you it was one of the best days of his life. That nobody took him serious. Everybody threw him out. He didn't know how to act. He had a lot of problems, but had a heart of gold, and I could see it. And then we had a team between me, Tony, and the club owner was a soldier, a military guy, and he was strong. When someone needed to be, pushed out or taken care of, he would do it. So it was a perfect thing. And I want to tell you this story, Tony. I don't know if you remember this. The best moment in all of Speak Up was from this guy Tommy. Tommy was a local guy. He's on the spectrum, But the neighbors, all the kids in the neighborhood took care of him all the time, and he watched. And he I don't think he knew what a poem was or a spoken word, but he would sit and watch. And one day he asked me if he could read a poem. And now at this point we had done it for 6 or 7 years, and we had people who had won Pulitzer Prizes, people who wrote multiple books, all kinds of guests in there. And but Tommy, who was had some mental health issues, right? He's pretty high functioning, but when you meet him, you know that he's got some struggles. He had the best 4 minutes in the whole time for me, and he wrote this poem. It was a letter to his mother. Mom, how come you don't love me? Is it because I'm slow? Is it because I can't, because I'm not quick like other kids? I'm always gonna, how come you left me like that? And I'm telling you, there wasn't a dry eye in the place. And because he's on the spectrum, he did it with a face that didn't show any emotion. It was written in like 4th grader language. And I'm telling you, it was the most powerful thing that I've ever seen. And I knew that if we didn't create a space where people like him felt welcome, that is something that would have never happened. He would have never even known that it was possible to do that. And so thanks for reminding me about that, Tony, and the work that we've done. I'm going to sing one song and let you go. I'm looking at a group of folks here that I really care about, all of you. So let me just do this one tune, and then me heading off towards 70. I'm shooting for 70.
Wait a minute, Don. Before you go, even though we're not supposed to be able to sing on Zoom, let's everybody sing happy birthday to Don. It'll be a cacophony. Here we go. Unmute. The crowds are going crazy against you, Don. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Don. Happy birthday to you.
Like the zombies are coming.
I'm going to steal this line from Bill Morrissey, but this is a great line. When that guy sold me that acid in the 70s, I thought he had ripped me off, but it just kicked in.
I hope the next 65 are better than the last 65, Don.
Thank you. I don't think they could be. I've had an amazing life to this point. I really have. I can't complain about a minute of it. So this is called That's What Makes You Beautiful. It's for everybody. Tingle, Richard Fox, everybody. If you know anybody who grew up with parents that weren't good to them because they had problems, but they turned out to be good, they deserve this. You deserve it. If you're a kind person and you found that within yourself, you have no idea what an accomplishment that is. And I have to tell you, it's a powerful thing in this world. The kindness is the power against the other stuff. So thank you. I don't want to preach at you, but I love you all so much, and I'll see you soon. You were taught by your world that empathy and kindness were the kind of things that made a person weak. They said push and grab and fight every minute of your life and trample those between you and what you believe you need. But from the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song you could hear through all those years of fear and insecurity, singing cruelty is always weak. Love and empathy are strong enough to break the chains of selfishness and greed. gentle is the strongest thing to be. You know it is not your fault that heroin and alcohol made them both too ill to give their children what they really need. But it sure would have been nice to be encouraged once or twice, to feel safe at night, or to have a life with just a little normalcy. From the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song you could hear through all those years of fear and insecurity. When you feel hatred in your heart, you just remember who you are, and that underneath the weight of hate, your heart cannot be free. Forgiving is the stronger thing to be. It's not the color of your eyes, it's not your hypnotizing smile, it's not any of the many things that everyone can see. It's the way you always knew what they told you wasn't true. It's how you made yourself the person that they taught you not to be. That's what makes you beautiful to me. A young man's eyes see beauty in what is on the surface, not within. He will walk past what is beautiful to be near the thing that shines. But these old man's eyes see beauty in the story, in the journey. They have seen too much to be fooled by what attracts a young man's eyes. From the moment you were born, in your heart there was a song you could hear through all those years of fear and insecurity. There was nothing that this world could do to crush the love inside of you. Under neglect, abuse, and selfishness, you were caring, kind, and generous. It is the lonely road that brought you here. It's how all alone you persevered. It's the defiance and tenacity of your heart song of humanity. That's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful to me.
Bravo.
Bravo, Don. Bravo.
Well done.
Thank you for another great night, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks for turning out, everybody. Thanks to everyone who could donate. I appreciate that a lot. And thanks to Brandon and to everybody that performed. And thanks for being good people in this world. You know, there's more of us. There's more of us. There's more of us good people. You know, so it's an honor to be around you all. I mean that. You made my heart feel good today. So thanks. So Brandon, there he is right there. He's the man. And as we do every week, we don't just shut it down because we do shut down for our Facebook and YouTube. So goodbye to those guys, Facebook and YouTube. But